Ladies and gentlemen, this is a Pinnacle Combat Amateur Bantamweight title fight. It's scheduled for 5 3-minute rounds. It's being sponsored by Hammerheads Bar and Billiards. Fighting out of the blue corner, he's a freestyle fighter, standing 5'9", 140 pounds, with 3 wins and 1 loss. Training with Dubuque Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and MMAG. Sponsored by Gary's Tattoo. From Dubuque, Iowa, Keegan Witbeck. And fighting out of the red corner, he's a Kung Fu fighter standing 5'6", 135 pounds, with 10 wins and 4 losses, training with Iowa's top team. Sponsored by Gary's Tattoo. From Clinton, Iowa, Jepsen!
The crowd is amped up for this one at Pinnacle Combat 25. A title belt on the line, bantamweight title. Jeff Jepsen is your title belt holder, taking on Keegan Witbeck. We are ready for round number 1. Rob Spengler, once again Keone Koch, and Eric Vo in the broadcast booth. We're underway.
I think if we've had a fight of the night, this has a potential of taking over fight of the night.
Definitely. Nice side kick by Keegan there. Like you said, he listed Conor McGregor as one of his influences. He definitely tries to emulate that in practice, working a lot of the side kicks, the taekwondo kicks.
Spinning back kick we see from him there. And Jepsen returned that side kick with a side kick to the body as well. Right now they're pretty neutral. Looks like they're just going to feel each other out for a while and look for a big opening.
And takedown. Jepsen.
And that's dangerous. That's dangerous slamming people. It's dangerous for the guy getting slammed, and it's dangerous for the guy slamming. You can actually get sunk in a deeper armbar there, but Keegan did a really good job of getting outside control. Now he's pinning an arm down. This is where you can really start doing a lot of damage, but Jepsen's fresh, so I anticipate there will be a scramble here.
Looks like there's a little bit of blood. Looks like Keegan might be cut above his eye.
Yep.
I think Jepsen actually is cut as well. You have a situation where Keegan hit that really good jab right when he was coming in, might have cut him open, but after a leg tangle, and here we're seeing high-level mixed martial arts. You know what? I think you're right, Bo. I think there is some blood coming off of Keegan's eye as well.
Yeah, I almost think both fighters might have a cut. Yeah, Jepsen's is above his right eye.
Jepsen's looking a little bit more comfortable now, too.
Definitely. Keegan looks like he's kind of looking to take it to the ground a little bit more. And
landed a big right hand, but Jepsen came back there and he's pressuring it up against the fence. Sometimes that big initial expenditure of energy gets you bogged down, especially in the first round. The nice right hand to the body landed by Jepsen there as well.
Good takedown defense.
Boy, this is a great first round already.
They're not waiting, are they?
Crowd is eating it up too. Jepsen pressing Witbeck.
Coming in a little bit wild, coming in with a chin down and swinging big shots, but Witbeck is standing and creating a solitary target, so when you don't move your feet, it makes it really easy for somebody, especially from a good gym, to move around you and use their footwork.
Another slam there by Witbeck.
But then again, Jepsen goes right up and threatens him, and Witbeck already looks a little tired, so this could be trouble for him.
Last 10
nice
seconds.
pull out.
Nice.
He got out of that armbar.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to move on to round number 2. An exciting opening round. Here's another slam. And there we go. Round 1 in the books.
Jepsen did really good on that slam of tucking his head in and not really taking any damage. And the thing that people don't realize about that is the amount of energy it takes from the guy on top. You've got a guy hanging off of your head with his entire body weight. To just pick him up an inch off the floor takes an incredible amount of energy, and that might not pay dividends to him later on.
That being said, looking at the body language of Keegan Witbeck, he looks pretty chill.
part of the fight is mastering, your emotions and not showing your opponent your emotions, so they can't read whether you're hurt, whether you're happy, whether you're, what kind of emotional state you're in. So he might be very, very tired, but still able to put on a calm face. And I have no doubt Keegan's in shape. That first round, Eric, you know this. Sometimes that first round is tough. If you haven't warmed up right, or if you haven't warmed up enough, especially in kind of a cool environment, you can feel more gassed after the first round than you feel after the 5th round. Definitely. And being under these lights, but the crowd out here like that, it always, it's always something to take into consideration. And I think Keegan's just trying to find his comfortability and really start to showcase what he can do. And we can't forget, we're looking at one shot. If you land one shot in this game, you can be down on points, you can be tired. If you land one shot, everything changes. So if Keegan still believes he still has that mental clarity that he can land, he's still dangerous and he can still take Jepsen out.
I definitely would give Keegan that last round, but the Jepsen was definitely showing he was in the fight, throwing up submissions from every aspect and ready to engage.
There's a nice shot behind the ear. Jepsen rolls it off pretty well. Keegan's looking like he's throwing big guns here. He wants to really land a good shot.
And both of the cuts pretty much stopped by their corner men.
And with Sweat, we're going to see those cuts open up, and it's significant that it's in the first round. It's significant that you've got 4 more rounds to hammer on that cut and open it up, and potentially turning it into a situation where the fight has to be looked at.
Yeah, especially if it gets in the eye, because of course it is right above the eye for both fighters.
Yeah. And I saw Keegan's didn't look too bad, but like I said, things open up and things change. Great takedown by Keegan there to get the fight to the ground.
Witbeck once again with the takedown. He's had some nice slams. As you said, Eric, I'd probably give the edge to him in the opening round.
Definitely. He's doing a good job of backing up against the cage and waiting for Jepsen to come in and close the distance for him and capitalizing and getting a good takedown.
Jepsen has a hold of the head, Eric, and you know as well as I know, if you have a guillotine or if you have a headlock like that and somebody's in side control, the Von Flue choke, which is making a resurgence in the UFC, is always there. So you have to be real careful about headlocking somebody there, because all Keegan would have to do is connect his hands. Excellent reversal by Jepsen. Keegan can't sit down there and wait for him. He's given signs to Jepsen of what kind of mental state he's in.
And he is firing.
And hopped back. I don't know if you saw that. He hopped back up and just screamed at Keegan, come on, let's go.
And this is where you'll start to doubt yourself mentally. If you get somebody who takes everything you have and then gets up and starts firing, it can wear on you and start making people think, how do I beat this guy? How can I finish this guy? Everything I do, he gets me in something. Mentally, that's where you have to really step up if you want to take that belt.
Something fun here. The crowd, we're in an ice arena. There's plexiglass around some of the seating area. And when the action got real hot and heavy, they were banging against the glass. That's not a hockey fight, but that was pretty fun.
Fun to mix the two. They both share their combative legacy.
Keegan is doing a great job of just keeping a dominant position on as soon as he gets to the ground. Yep. I mean,
Absolutely.
Fighting off the submission attempts of Jepsen, and he's definitely a very agile person on the ground.
Yeah, he had him in the Kimura position with his legs over. He's working the body really, really well. Jepsen at this point needs to utilize that cage. The cage is a tool. You can use your feet to push off of it, and you definitely don't want to get stuck down in a corner like this. If Keegan postures up, there's very little place for Jepsen to go and a lot of power that Witbeck can bring down.
10 seconds left here in round number 2.
I love it. I love the innovative techniques. What do you call that?
That's definitely using every aspect of your body.
Every part of your anatomy can be used in MMA, and what I want to call that, I don't know if I can call it that. We'll just
Do
leave
we
it.
have to bleep you? Is that what
We'll let the fans decide what they want to call that, but I know what it looks like. And it don't look fun for Jepsen in that point.
No. Great 2 rounds to open this thing up,
and as I love Jepsen's energy right now, but in my book, he is down on the scorecards 2-1.
Yes.
Or 2-0, excuse me, and you know, he's definitely got to start pulling something out.
I think
if
that
he
last
wants to
round was
hold that.
actually better for Keegan than the first one was.
Yeah,
I think it
I
was
do
more
too.
clear. That said, I can tell when somebody's kind of fallen out of a fight and Jepsen's not. He's right there and he's fighting the whole time, and it's just, you know, again, we're at a battle of wills. We're only 2 rounds in. You know, what's going to happen in the 3rd and 4th? It's going to be fun to see these guys put it all on the line.
Little replay here of some of our second round action, and that was a nice takedown there by Witbeck.
My concern for Witbeck is he's a little bit solitary, which is okay if you're drawing somebody in trying to take him down and get the shot. But if somebody's moving and they can control their range, it can get really frustrating and really tiring at range. Excellent spinning back kick to Jepsen.
Wow, right to the midsection. Round 3 of 5. This is a title fight, bantamweight.
Jepsen looking for a takedown of his own.
It looks like Witbeck is looking for an anaconda choke, and he has it sunk in pretty good. He's got to get off to the side. Jepsen does a good job of getting out, but he still has the anaconda lock. If he can drag him down to the ground, there's a possibility he can finish this. And you know what? Knee him in the head. He's not a downed opponent right now. He should be blasting him in the temple with those knees, right, Eric?
Yeah.
You know the old school. You remember how we used to do it back in the day.
Definitely. Any time that anytime you can, you let that knee go to the face.
And we've recently had a rule change where a down fighter, you know, the definition of a down fighter has changed. So if you see somebody in that position, you got to take advantage of it right away.
Nice takedown again from Witbeck.
And you see Jepsen continue to scramble. We talked about this a little bit earlier, guys. The upcoming Ramirez-Wisely fight. Ramirez is really, really powerful, very effective early, and Wisely is a guy that will grind you out of gas. You have to think that has to be kind of in Jepsen's mind right now. He's down 2.5 rounds. He needs to start kind of putting Witbeck in a place where he's making bad decisions. And right now, Keegan is controlling the position and slowly grinding out this fight from Jepsen. But we still have championship rounds, and that's what makes champions.
Oh, wow.
Speak of the devil.
Jepsen able to get out and throw a few nice shots in.
Again, when I spoke of the cage, you know, the cage being used as a tool to climb with your legs, to push with your hands, you got to do exactly what Jepsen's doing. Use the cage to stand up. Use the cage to get to your side and make the guy on bottom continue to try and work and pull your hips out. And that's exactly what Jepsen's doing. The problem is Keegan is so adamant about keeping that leg down and keeping the position that he just can't quite get up.
Knee to the midsection there, a couple of them by Keegan Witbeck.
I love that. Always be striking. Always be striking.
Keegan doing a very good job of just nullifying anything that Jepsen's trying to do.
He's got that anaconda. He's going for that anaconda again. Again, the knees are a potential here, but Jepsen is just so squirrely. He's a scrambler.
Round number 3 is done. Wow, what
that's
a
another
great
round.
fight.
Another round for Witbeck. That's 3 up now. If you're in Jepsen's corner, you have to say, hey, we got to turn it up and finish this guy. We got to put him in a bad spot. You got to put pressure on him because we're down 3. Even if we do take it over, we might not win the fight. We got to finish the fight to win the fight. So now Jepsen's back is really against the wall, and we see what these championship rounds are all about. Either Witbeck earns it or Jepsen takes it back.
We've seen some bursts from Jepsen rather, but overall sustained control. Really, Witbeck. He's been in charge of this thing so far, hasn't he?
Yeah, and he's showing, you know, the will of a champion so far. He looks clear. His eyes look clear. He doesn't look super exhausted. He's doing what he needs to do to win this fight the best way that he can and move up in the ranks. And you know what I really like about this fight, guys, is it's a real example of MMA. You've got a little bit of everything in here. You've got submission, transition, defense, punches, a lot of different things. Hopefully we'll see even more in the next 2 rounds.
Well, and again, we talked about the cuts early in that first round, but they haven't really factored in too much as the fight has gone on.
Now, Witbeck's done a good job of staying close. So as long as you're close and you can keep control of people's body, there's less likelihood that something's going to open up and hit you.
Here we go, the 4th round of this 5-round title fight. Bantamweight title on the line. Jeff Jepsen, defending champ. Keegan Witbeck trying to take it from him.
And Jepsen's doing a good job of coming forward and trying to press the fight. But when he does, Keegan's waiting for him with a takedown every single time. So you've got to play the range game a little bit more effectively when you have somebody who's a better grappler like Keegan is. And Jepsen's coming in true to his championship nature and trying to bring the fight to Keegan. But in doing so, he's actually setting himself up for a takedown.
Looking for that triangle.
Yep. So he's got it locked up. There's nothing here yet. Keegan can ground and pound. He's pretty postured. He's actually in a better place to strike than Jeff is now.
Keegan Witbeck on top. He's in the yellow shorts.
Now Jeff actually has a bicep slicer. I don't know if he has it, but he has it on his arm, and there's a couple things he could do. I don't see that he's going to get it. I think Keegan's going to pull the arm out, but yeah, now is a time to utilize the cage and not get stuck in that little corner and climb up it and go for broke. You have to go for broke at this point in time. You're not in a position where you can wait.
Definitely. A minute and a half in the 4th round. Cards are down. You definitely have to just give it your all. Show him why you're the champion. But Keegan is definitely doing a great job of just staying on top of him, making sure that he's close to him at all times and just putting him in a very bad position.
Yeah, Jepsen's the champ. He's tough, and Keegan is doing he's fighting a really smart fight. He's controlling position. He's making Jepsen tired, and he's making him less effective if and when the fight does go to standing. So it's a very, very tactical fight, very, very smart fight. And right now I've got it so far 4 rounds to none.
Yeah, Jepsen may come down to this final round needing a big finish.
Got back to his feet. He's only got 30 seconds to work. Let's see what he does with the last 30 seconds. This is a golden opportunity for Jepsen to turn this up and to go into the 5th round with a little bit of hope. Keegan's just waiting for him. Just waiting for him to come in hard and hit that takedown.
Couple leg kicks there by Witbeck. 15 seconds left.
Now just the threat of the takedown from Keegan has Jepsen kind of pulling back a little bit from his punches.
So we head to the 5th and final round. Championship belt on the line. Jeff Jepsen, your defending champion, but right now Keegan Witbeck looks like he may take it away.
And you see some frustration in the corner of Jepsen, and how can you not? You're down 4 rounds to none. You know, even if your corner's being generous, you're still down 3 rounds to 1. It's make or break time. I expect, because he trains with good people, Mark's really got a big sense of urgency in his corner that he's going to come out swinging. The question is he going to throw himself right into another Witbeck takedown? And, you know, Keegan's staying planted and waiting, and every time Jepsen gets close enough to hurt him, boom, he's right underneath him. He takes him down to the ground right where he should.
And as you said, the fear of the takedown right now is almost paralyzing Jepsen in a way.
Yeah, he's getting stuck in transition. He knows that he can fight. He's in shape to fight. But we were talking about this earlier. The one thought, the momentary thought, I better not extend too much because I'm going to get taken down. Well, now you ate 2 leg kicks from Keegan. Now you're coming in barreling forward and getting taken down. You can't think in there. You just have to act.
Well, I think Jepsen needs a big round 5 if he stands a chance to retain his belt. We'll see.
Towards the end of the round, of the last one, Keegan was backing up, and Jepsen said, "No, you come out to the middle of the cage." I want to see if he keeps that type of mindset, if he still chases down, like you said, into another takedown.
Well, and that's part of the, you know, being a champion and staying a champion is the execution of strategy. Jepsen would have been better served, in my opinion, in the 2nd and 3rd round, doing what he's doing now and just saying, "Hey, come out here and fight me."
It's too late now.
You're exactly right. Now we're in the 5th round, and Keegan can coast here and still win a decision. So now Jepsen's relegated to coming in with a lot of aggression and potentially giving up that nail in the coffin takedown. You can see his sense of urgency is coming, and Keegan's waiting for it.
Yeah, Witbeck, you got to give him a lot of credit. He's fought a very smart fight so far.
And it's not to say that Witbeck is by any means running from this fight. He's landing effective strikes. He's landing effective kicks. He's doing exactly what he needs to do to get Jepsen bought into this "I'm going to stand with you" thing, and he takes him down. Exactly. That's mixed martial arts.
Exactly. He's playing it perfectly.
It's times like these, guys, when you're 90 seconds in, you just have to go. And I hate to say, you know, technique doesn't apply here, but it really doesn't. You have to make something. You have to create an opportunity. And if, you know, it's either that or dancing around the cage, hesitating and thinking, and then going after the fight. Oh, I should have pulled that trigger.
Yeah. And if Jepsen wants to retain the belt, he's going to need to do some work here in the final minute.
Yeah. And champions are made in the final minute, but is it going to be enough? I think Keegan is a tough enough individual that even if he's at the end of these punches, even if he's in trouble, he'll still be able to withstand the next 50 seconds of this fight.
Yep, and now he ties him up smartly. "40 seconds left.
And I think one thing that fighters often do is they prepare themselves, they condition themselves for a 5-round fight, but they don't take into account the fact somebody could potentially overpower them for 5 rounds, even if you're in good shape.
And there's the takedown, and that is probably the nail in the coffin.
Yep. Keegan cleared his head. He can throw a couple punches here. The fight's his. He's just got to keep that arm out of trouble. He's got to pull that arm all the way to the sky. If Jepsen has anything left, he's going to throw that in right now. I don't think it's going to happen.
Nope.
Too much sweat.
And there it is.
That's close.
Close.
Keegan did it.
Keegan Witbeck appears to have outlasted Jeff Jepsen and stolen the bantamweight title.
Both fighters fought their hearts out. They fought really, really tough. What it really came down to was Keegan's confidence and his ability to execute a strategy under fire, under the fire of a champion. He earned it. He earned that belt tonight.
Absolutely. Don't think this one's going to be too tough on the judges on the scorecards. Once again, good to see the fighters have a little convo afterwards.
And Jepsen's so tough. Like Jepsen's the kind of guy that nobody really wants to fight that much because he's tough everywhere and he's going to bring you a fight. He's a great champion, and it's just a matter of time before we see him in the cage again. You know, somebody that good, that skilled, they're not going to be gone for long. And this is amateur. We still got plenty of time to watch these guys develop.
Keegan Witbeck getting a chant going from the crowd here at the Mystique Community Ice Center. It's going to be a memorable night for him. Just about ready. It looks like our ringside announcer has the judges' cards. And yep, let's send it to Dean Michael once again with the decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, this Pinnacle Combat Amateur Bantamweight fight. How about a round of applause for these two fighters going the distance in this title fight. As we go to the scorecards, we have a unanimous decision. Your winner, Keegan Witbeck, your new amateur bantamweight title holder.
And now let's hear from our new bantamweight amateur champion, Keegan Witbeck, as he gets belted by Harry McGlaris. And Justin Taylor will have a word with him momentarily.
think fight of the night contender. You got cut early on, but from there on out, it looked like the ground game, you controlled him nonstop. Was that the plan going into this?
Well, no, actually, I know he's a stand-up fighter, and everybody knows I got a good ground game, so I kind of just wanted to stand up, but I got a little tired, so I had to go to my game plan.
Well, you didn't look tired from us. What do you want going forward here? What are your plans?
Well, I mean, defend the belt.
Who do you want to fight?
I don't even know anybody else's name, so I'm just...
All right, who do you want to thank? You know those people. Who do you want to thank here?
I want to thank God. I want to thank my family and friends, everybody who stuck behind me. Everybody came out here to support not just me, but everybody else from Dubuque. I want to thank my fraternity, Phi Beta Sigma, Blue Phi. There we go, boys. And I also want to say, I want to give a big shout out to my Aunt Crystal, sitting over here in the crowd right here. She just finished her last round of chemo, so hopefully she beat it. And I also want to say one more thing. I mean, whether you're aware of it or not, but 44,000 people every year commit suicide in the United States, and that's the 10th leading cause of death in the U.S. It's rose 22% in the last decade. So if you know anybody struggling, or you're struggling yourself, reach out. Don't be afraid for help. There's always people out here.
Ladies and gentlemen, your new champion, Keegan Witbeck.